Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring you the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much, much more. Sorry for the 15-minute delay on. I did set it up for 7 o'clock, but 15 minutes, but I had things to do, unfortunately. So I've had to knock it back 15 minutes, but I do apologize. I will let you guys know all the news. Don't you worry about that. We will be here to give you everything that's happened in the past 24 hours. And I said last night, Reese, right? When I was on last night, I said, watch something happen. Watch something happen between now and after the stream. And did something happen, or did it just? Fabrizio Romano, the guy, has been tweeting all transfer saga, all transfer window about trying to get as much out of it as he can. And he actually posted, "Here we go" last night. Everyone blew up in terms of excitement, in terms of everyone was absolutely gassed last night after that tweet. That's it. Florian Wirtz is done. Just within an hour. Within an hour, Ornstein shut it down. Alex Crook shut it down. Ian Doyle shut it down. And we're still getting to the point now where we're thinking, is it done? Is it not done? It is pretty much done.
Well,
In it.
I was going to say my view is different, to be honest.
Yeah,
As most people,
it is pretty much done.
I don't really look at Ornstein and that as shutting it down. I see it as they're smaller reporters. Obviously, Ornstein, don't get me wrong, he's got reputation and in the game and whatnot. But Fabrizio's he's the go-to one. He's got the biggest platform and whatnot. Obviously, it's not officially done, but it's more or less done, and he received the email, so he's decided to kind of put it all on the line. And yeah, but he can afford to, do that, because regardless that it is going to get done, they're saying they're going to accept the bid. So obviously Ornstein kind of wants to wait until it's 100%. That's up to them. But for me, it's done. That's how I see it. Like I said, the medical will be done in a couple of days. And when it happened at the time, I weren't crazy excited because of how long it's dragged out. Obviously, I get that. I'm over the moon of the caliber of player we're getting, but because it's took around 2 weeks, and Fabrizio did say it wasn't going to be a long saga, and it has been a long saga. I understand the magnitude of the deal. It's not a small deal. It's not like 10 or 20 million, so it's not overnight. But I'm happy that's done. Now I want to get on to the next player, Kerkez, and then who knows? Like I said, striker, maybe a centre back or a DM.
So yeah, last night was unbelievable. I just thought it just came out of nowhere. It literally came out of nowhere. It was quiet news all day. We spoke about that last night on last night's stream. It was like slow news day. Nothing came about, and then all of a sudden, 9-10 o'clock at night, it just came out, and then boom, unbelievable news. But yeah, if you are joining us tonight, make sure you do like the video to help us out massively. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to get on latest updates on Liverpool, and also big Liverpool content coming out as well. We recorded a couple of things earlier that will be coming out over the weekend. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, because we want to bring you the best Liverpool content we physically can. And I've always said, and I will always say, and I'll stand by it, the bigger we get, the better content we get. Absolutely. Evening, Jen. How are we doing tonight? Fab deals with agents, not the club. Yep. I mean, that's a tricky one with her. If you do deal with agents will want to push certain things out, but then clubs won't want to push other things out as well. So let's get on to the Florian Wirtz news, obviously. Ornstein then again said last night that Liverpool having no intention of bidding as high as 150 million euros. But despite what Fabrizio Romano said in terms of it being done, however, Mars come out today on Wirtz as well. So SZ, which is a German outlet who got it right, who pretty much got this deal done early, as in like the first to be out there in terms of outlets. These got it out first before anyone else. The destination in England was not Man City's headquarters. Guardiola would have loved to welcome the Wirtz family there. There was no appointment or the meeting with Wirtz and his parents. Instead, the Wirtz family went to meet representatives of Liverpool. And Fabrizio Romano actually said this. Several clubs were turned down from Wirtz, which is big, isn't it, Reese?
Very big. But we knew that anyway. Obviously, we know Man City tried to hide the fact and make it more about that it's too expensive of a deal. When you actually look, they spent over 100 million on Grealish. They spent 200 million in January on 3 or 4 players. Those players haven't really worked out as of yet. Hence why they've gone to spend another 200, 250 million. And I hate to say it, but it looks like they're they're going to get off their charges because the way they're spending, they don't know that they've got a care in the world. But yeah, Bayern, obviously, that's why it's even more of a big deal because he's a generational talent. Works. He's one of the best at what he does in terms of operates as a 10, if not the best. But I'll say top 2, top 3 at least in the world. And then obviously a lot of the time German players tend to end up going to Bayern. So it was more scripted and written that he was going to go to Bayern, but Liverpool obviously for a spanner in the works, done their due diligence, done their homework. It was either going to be Bayern or Man City. That's what we were hearing for the last year or so. So it's even more of a successful signing for Liverpool. But yeah, as far as I know, those are the only 2 teams that got rejected. Do you know any? Is there any other teams?
There's been other teams that's been reported. No, it's obviously we always knew about Man City buying anyway. We don't know about any other teams yet. I think that will come out probably in time. The buying situation, though, it's very rare a German leaves the German league without going to Bayern first, or especially when Bayern are in for him, they normally stay, and that's a big statement in itself for Liverpool to get that over the line. Like the probably one of the most talented German players around. Bayern Munich going in for you think it's a destined place to go. Liverpool coming in and getting that is just absolutely huge. Just today, Florian already posted on Instagram soon and a plane. Has he done that? I've not seen that, but I have seen also Jeremy Frimpong posting on Instagram, and with him and Florian Wirtz linking up. So that is going to happen again. Jan said here, big up everyone. What's the other journalist talking about? It's not done yet. I think regarding Ornstein, Joyce, we haven't seen Joyce yet. Joyce is basically literally the tapping merchant in terms of if Joyce says it, it's as done as it gets. You know what I'm saying? But he does it last minute. Once it's, you might as well. It's like you make a cake. Fabrizio does all the ingredients, puts them in, chucks a few more ingredients in, bakes it. Ornstein's like the icing. But what Paul Joyce is the cherry on top. Paul Joyce is the cherry on top. It's finished. It's ready to be eaten. That is Paul Joyce. So that's why I don't think you've seen anything yet of that. So the same outlet that said about Man City is also saying that Florian Wirtz is having a medical check on Thursday, if not Wednesday. An experienced football broker told the SZ. This means Wirtz will complete the medical, which is mandatory before signing a contract. And if everything is perfect, then he will achieve the goal he himself chose. So Thursday, Wednesday, I don't care when it gets done, get it done, this medical. And I presume it can't be official now till next Monday at least, because obviously the transfer window is shut. The transfer reopens again on the 16th. So anything officially, it can't be done till Monday. But will we see a Paul Joyce saying completed on Friday, Reece, at most?
I like to think so. I do think the rest of them will. But I'm not that bothered if they don't. Like I said, I already see it as it's done. Fabrizio said it is. I do think potentially, when has Trent been announced today, or is he going to get announced in the next couple of days at Real Madrid as well?
Thursday, yeah, Thursday.
But I do think I could see Liverpool announcing to cancel that out as a bit of a marketing kind of ploy, to kind of keep the attention on Liverpool and not to worry about who's left Liverpool. So don't be surprised. I think tomorrow or Friday, you see some.
No, they did it again. They did it with Frimpong, didn't they? Trent was announced going to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Hours later, Frimpong was announced at Liverpool. Trent is going to get his presentation, whatever he gets. Does he get? I don't know if he get. I don't know what. Does he get a present? Does he get a party bag? I don't know what he gets in front of Real Madrid fans. And Liverpool do have a chance to do something funny and announce Wirtz on Thursday, literally either at the same time or just after. I want to see outgoing says jumpers ASAP to allow us to get others in. We got a lot of players that don't make the cut. The 3 coming in are so far elite level. I think yeah. I think once we get Wirtz in and hopefully Kerkez joining in, which we're going to talk about in just a second, I think they will be concentrating on sales, Reece. Certainly, especially Nunez. Hey, said, big up, Darren. Reece, hit the likes on the way in. Come on, LFC, you'll never walk. And thank you so much, DB. Absolutely, exactly what he said. Please hit the like button if you like this sort of content. If you don't like this sort of content, hit the like button anyway. It helps out massively. And also, we've got some big, different kind of content coming out as well over the next few days. So make sure you do stay tuned for that. I just thought we made fun of Trent joining is okay. How about Frimpong and Wirtz, same positions as well, says Charlie. John Henry moving like a TI walking into access, singing to slot. John Henry, I mean, like I said, I'm a big critique of FSG and John Henry in the past, and rightly so. It's been valid critique. But I've always said, look, if they do something well and they do stand up and do something and show some ambition, then I'll be the first to clap them for that. Let's get this on. Trent will get what he deserves. Elliot, Tsimikas, Jota, Nunez, Chiesa, Quansah, Martin, Phillips will be heading out. Yeah, we're going to be a lot of outgoings, certainly, Justin. Certainly a lot of outgoings. But yeah, just going to get on to what about Jarrll Quansah as well, because there was some news about Jarrll Quansah, about Leverkusen wanting Jarrll Quansah potentially. It's all coming out that Leverkusen are seriously considering a move for Jarrll Quansah. But no agreements have been reached yet. The potential Diaz now as independent of so if the Jarrll Quansah situation, if anything was to happen with Quansah and Leverkusen, it's nothing that is collective with Wirtz. It's going to be an independent deal in itself. But then Simon Jones from the Mail also said Liverpool are not thinking about letting him go anyway. Can you see Quansah leaving at all, Reese? Or do you think that one from Simon Jones is pretty much saying?
I think it's 50-50. I do think one of the two will go, Gomez and Quansah. Obviously, I've said previously my preference would be for Quansah to go. I think Joe Gomez is more seasoned, even though he is injury prone. He's more seasoned, and I think Slot trusts Gomez more. I think he's higher in the pecking order. I know Bayer Leverkusen saying that may be interested in Quansah, but if he does stay, I don't see him getting much game time. I think he'll be fourth choice, especially if we do get a centre back. But I think us getting a centre back will depend on outgoings, as in if one leaves, one comes in.
Trent who said Espada? Don't know if you've heard of him. I'm not just a player. I don't know it really is, but it's some sort of player. But yeah, moving on to someone that could be joining Liverpool. Obviously, Quansah could be going out. Gomez could be coming out. Charles says, sell Gomez because of age. Quansah is young and has potential. Milos Kerkez. Fabrizio Romano did also speak about that yesterday, about he could be very, very soon in as well in terms of his deal to Liverpool. He could be joining the Reds after the Wirtz deal's done. I think that's what we're going to be doing. Wirtz deal done first, and then I think we're going to focus fully on Kerkez and then the outgoings as well. But Justin Kluivert, also his teammate right now, has spoken about this. Ask him about if he's going to join Liverpool, and he said he'll probably go there. I hope so for him. He hasn't really said goodbye yet, but I hope he'll make it happen there. That's what he said in an interview today. I don't know if it was today yet, so that report is out there, whether he's done an interview today or yesterday. That's big, isn't it? Justin Kluivert to come out and say that, a teammate of his. So they must have been speaking at some point about Liverpool.
Yeah, he's probably spoke to a lot of his teammates because it's a big move for him. It's a game changer. Obviously, he's been an established fullback in the Premier League for a couple of seasons, Hungarian international as well. So he'll link up with Szoboszlai. But when you got a big move on the cards, you probably will inform some of your close teammates who you're friends with off the field. So I'm assuming he's probably one of his close friends.
I think we'll still need a striker, centre-back midfielder in addition to ones that we're getting, especially with when Grav is out. Absolutely, Justin. Well, Grav's out the first game in a suspension, so he does miss the first match. But yeah, I think they're the three after that, and I'm happy. Unless we do get rid of like a Diaz, for example, I think we need another left winger. But striker, centre-back midfielder, Reece.
I was gonna say, speaking of Diaz, did you see his goal yesterday against Argentina?
Unbelievable.
For me, you can't get rid of him. That
why
goal,
doesn't he do that often? He doesn't do that often with us.
He does do it, but it's not always.
He doesn't attempt it.
He does do it, but it's not always off. It's not as consistent as that because of the injuries he's had. I don't think he wants to play like that because he's worried about getting injured. People forget the injuries he had. He was kind of lightning quick when he first came onto the scene for half the season. That season when he signed him in January, and then he got injury, and then the following season, I'm sure he got injury where he injured the other leg against Arsenal. So he does show it, but you got to remember, he plays up front for Colombia all the time. I know this season we have used him as the false nine, but I think he has that freedom consistently with Colombia, whereas Liverpool, we've only kind of seen him up front, kind of being used as a false nine from slot. We didn't see that with Klopp. So, but for me, I wouldn't, like I said, when you actually weigh up the market and you think about wingers and what Diaz actually possesses, there's not too much players that are on the same level or better. I can only think of maybe a Rodrigo or Musiala, and we were not getting Musiala, and I think it's unlikely we get Rodrigo. So for me, I expect Diaz to stay unless Liverpool get a crazy offer from Barcelona. They kind of meet their expectation of what we're asking for. I do see him staying, and for me, I would like him to stay for at least another season. He's got 2 years left. You keep him, try and get a striker. That will help with what we're trying to achieve next season in terms of retaining the league, trying to get a cup, even try and go further in the Champions League and see if we can win it. But yeah, I would more wait till next season and kind of reassess how his season goes next season. And if they don't want to offer him a new deal, then you've still got a year left. You can still command, for me, 50 or 60 million, because he is a Colombian international and he's a top player on his day, especially.
He's showed many times how good this guy is. It just, again, like Jumper Scobo said, we get hit and miss. And at Liverpool, you don't really want hit and miss. You can't have hit and miss. But, it's good that we've got Gakpo there. It'd be worse if we didn't have a Gakpo there, for example. So Diaz being hit and miss is not that bad because Gakpo can pick up the pieces as well, and it is the best one we've got there. But on his day, I think Diaz can be better than Gakpo. But it just needs to do it much more often. If he was on his own, however, if Diaz was the only left winger we had, then it would be trouble.
For me personally, if you compare the two, I think Gakpo is more efficient. He's maybe more consistent, but I think Diaz is technically the better player. If you look at the eye test, I think he's got more tools in his box, like more strings to his bow. If you look, he can probably play across the front three as well. And like I said, Gakpo's a good player, but if you look, he's kind of got that one kind of similar trick where he always likes to cut in.
Yeah.
Apart from that, he always kind of goes back to the wishing well. Whereas I think Diaz, like I say, he's got skills. He's got skills. He can run past players. He can drop the shoulder left or right.
I'll describe them both. Right? How I would describe them, and people in the chat, if they know football, know how a position works and know what positions of football are properly. Gakpo is a better forward. Diaz is a better winger. So when I think winger, I think running down that line. I think taking your men on, taking your players on, getting the ball in the box. When I think forward, I think output. I think who's going to get in the box, who's going to score some goals, who's going to come out from even if you're from the wing going inside, who's going to come in and get some forward runs, who's going to make the runs into the box, who's going to be a threat in front of goal. That's a forward for me. But Diaz is more, and not an old school winger, but he's more of an old school winger than Gakpo, for example. Gakpo's more modern day winger, whilst Diaz is more of a, back in there like Ryan Giggs and Pires that used to run and take players on.
I got a question for you though, Dame. The goal that Diaz scored yesterday, can Gakpo score that kind of goal? I don't think he can.
I don't think he takes players on like that. Like a different kind of player. Yeah.
4 or 5 players with that close control dribble.
Yeah.
And then drop the shoulder and then still have that composure to put the ball in the net.
Big up, fellas, Scottish Bear. Thank you so much, Scottish. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you do keep an eye on us. We're live every single night, Scottish Bear, at 7 o'clock, hopefully. And we've also started a morning show. I don't know if you guys noticed this morning. Thank you, everyone, for watching that this morning. We actually got quite a few views on that. Andreas came on to host. I know it was his first time hosting, first time in front of a camera, first time live. So he was quite nervous about it, but I trusted him, and I think he did a brilliant job this morning, Andreas. So, yeah, you'll see much more of Andreas and hopefully maybe Stu doing some morning shows as well. So, that morning show, make sure you get your subscribe to the channel and also notification bells on, because we'll be doing some more morning shows coming up as well. So, it'll let you know when we are live. But, yeah, thank you so much for subscribing tonight, Scottish Bears. Cost £150 million to replace Firmino, said Lissandro. I think Diaz is better as a 9 than Gakpo. Do you think that, Jumps? I don't think he is. I think Gakpo was all right as a 9, especially for Holland, when he played as a 9 for Holland. Gakpo's only young as well, but Diaz could score the goal Gakpo scored versus United at Anfield. I think Gakpo's got a better shot on him. Like I said, he's more of a forward than Diaz, but I think Diaz is better at dribbling. Mix them both together, you got a brilliant player. We haven't let Gakpo let out of his full potential yet. I think he's still got another level to go towards Gakpo. And like you said, like someone said, he's only young anyway, so he's got plenty of potential, which Diaz hasn't got potential really. He's pretty much not hit his ceiling, but he could maybe go another little level, but I don't think he'd be going any further than where he is now in terms of potential for Diaz. So going on from Diaz potentially leaving and Quansah potentially leaving, Darwin Nunez, according to Sport Build, after finalising a deal with Wirtz, which obviously is going to happen this week, hopefully, selling Darwin Nunez becomes serious, becomes the main thing to do. And also, Liverpool are becoming serious about Hugo Ekitike, Reece. Again, Sport Build, Hugo Ekitike, I've been saying this all the time. We're not really linked with any other strikers, bar Ekitike. It's always his name. So there must be something serious there going on with that.
I haven't seen much to do with it since Chelsea, to be fair. Obviously, you probably know a bit more than me, but me personally, my own personal preference, I would rather not him. Like I said, I'd rather Isak or Alvarez. I'm even willing to wait and keep Diaz there. But obviously, Liverpool see something in him. They've obviously been watching him for quite a while. And they see maybe a lot of potential there. So they're keeping an eye on him because that is the only one we keep kind of getting linked to over and over again.
Lissandro here says, you don't think Firmino is Wirtz's predecessor? Two different kind of players. I get what you mean. I think he can offer, I think he can offer things that Firmino offered, if that makes sense, especially his creativity in and around that box, just outside the box. Link up play. That's what he offers, but he's not a Firmino in terms of the false nine, the pressing and things like that. But he can play false nine. He can play on the left, but he's going to be more, if you're going to compare to anyone, it's going to be more like Coutinho.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Wirtz is the Coutinho replacement for me. We've kind of been lacking that kind of replacement for a number of years now.
But he does have traits and attributes similar to Firmino. The vision, the creativity, and the link-up play, unbelievable. So, and the close control as well. You've got to keep an eye on the close control because Firmino has very, very good close control. So does Florian Wirtz. But yeah, I'd say much more like Coutinho. In fact, speaking of Coutinho and Wirtz, I've recorded a video on that, so make sure you do stay tuned for that as well. It's going to come up on our videos over the weekend, hopefully. Wirtz is Coutinho 2.0 German edition, said Charlie. They're different players. Diaz will beat his defender, then try beat him again, as he's nobody in the middle to play the ball to. Gakpo realises that and plays different to cut inside and shoot himself. Yeah, well, exactly there. I mean, now we've got someone like a Wirtz. And I said that last week, I think. I said that Gakpo and Diaz might become better this season because they've got a Wirtz next to them. He immediately makes everyone else better as well. That's how big of a sign it is. Who do you think is going to be the number one winger next season then, Reece? Do you think Diaz could make it more consistent and be the number one? Because right now, Gakpo's number one for me.
I think if we don't sign a striker, Diaz is the first choice as the false nine and Gakpo is on the left. I think if we sign a striker, I think Gakpo starts the season as the first choice. And then I think it depends. You do it on a game-by-game basis or depending on who we're playing, who's in the better form. And like I said, horses for courses. So,
and again, depending on the game, Slot, you've seen Slot already is a tactician, magician. He will change things up when needs be. He could put Szoboszlai up front, for example. He could put a 2-10s again, like Szoboszlai and Wirtz, for example. Or he could even put, as an off chance, Wirtz on the left and someone else up front. He could easily do that. It depends on games, and it's so good to have those options as well. And it's the same thing with Bradley and Frimpong. He will play Bradley and Frimpong depending on the game. It'd be mainly Frimpong because we're usually dominating the ball, we're usually on the attack. But in certain games, I think there's a space there for Bradley to be the one to take that right back slot. Also, keep Maka at all costs. We have to re-up him ASAP to Los Angeles. Absolutely. I mean, McAllister is the best midfielder we have. He's the most all-rounder midfielder. Then again, I say that, but we've got Wirtz in a minute. He counts as a midfielder, so best all-round midfielder. How about that for Maka? His best all-round midfielder we've got. Certainly was the best last season. I know Gravenberch got his P's and deservedly so, but in terms of the whole season, McAllister was a level above. And the fact that McAllister wasn't in like the Player of the Year nominations or anything like that was a joke. Team of the Year. He's been better than Gravenberch, and everyone's been putting Gravenberch in the Team of the Year. I think McAllister's been better this season, but that's not taking it anyway from Gravenberch either. We can't lose too many of our homegrown. Quansah, Gomez, Elliott are all likely to leave. We won't let them go unless we have Gahey, Gordon, or Wharton to replacement. Out of those three, Reese, Gahey, Gordon, Wharton, which is your first choice out of those three?
Wharton, Wharton, and then Gordon, then Gahey, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
it's not even close. It's night and day for me. If I had to pick one, Wharton all day comes into midfield because we're crying out for that kind of midfielder. And like I said, he's homegrown, and the age that's kind of perfect for FSG because they always see it as if he doesn't spend his whole career here, he's got a sell-on value. You can kind of make back what you will spend on him, which is going to be easily 80 to 100 million, and you might even be able to make double that because of the market way in a few years' time.
Speaking of a sell-on value, do you think Wirtz will have a clause in his contract?
Not this one. I don't think.
Because also the words and the reports from Germany was talking about 5 years. So that leads until 27, 28 prime years. Do you think he's looking to move at that point?
Potentially. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. There's obviously, you never know, he could stay at Liverpool, but a lot of the time foreign players don't tend to spend the majority of their career in England, so potentially he could move on to Real Madrid. But either way, regardless whether he stays or in 4 or 5 years' time or goes, we'll probably make double of what we paid for him.
Malcolm said here, Wharton are still at my picks. Absolutely, my picks as well. Still my number one. Still, I would love Branthwaite if we could have Dirk to go to Everton in a swap deal. That'd be, I quite like Branthwaite actually. I think he's a very, very good centre back, and I think he's probably at least another 1 or 2 seasons at Everton, and maybe move to a big club then. But I can't see it being us. Just going to get this one up here. What striker do you think we'll get after Nunez leaves? Well, Badro, the main report striker is Ekitike. That's the one that's been over and over again. So who do I think we're going to get? Ekitike right now, if we are going to get anyone, but not really my first choice. PSG proved they need a solid striker. Maybe we can roll the way if we haven't already. All our fours are down besides Darwin. But I think with PSG, their wingers, but we've got Salah, but their wingers are much more, I'd say, elite than ours in terms of apart from Salah. So, and I think they're much more versatile than ours. I think Diaz does all right in the right wing. I don't think he's a striker. I think Gakpo's more of a striker. Even then, I don't think he's a striker. Let them all be in their order. Give pressure to the others order in the field. I think centre back and DM needs to be signed. Absolutely, Musa. I agree with that. We could renew Wirtz after 3 years if it's going well. I hope it is going well, Malcolm. I hope it is going well, my friend. Certainly, I expect it to go well. I saw a TikTok earlier about a Man City fan saying it's going to be a flop because of the price. But I've said it so many times. Don't get too worked on the price. Don't look at the price and put it on the player. The player don't have to be £150 million player.
That's just rival fans hating because if you look at the price of Caicedo, and obviously a year ago, people were talking about the price. If you look at this season, no one's talking about the price. When we first signed Virgil, we were talking about the price.
Yep.
That soon quickly went away when you kind of proved that he's that world-class player. So, and even with City again, if they paid that amount of money, their fans wouldn't be saying nothing. They're just in their feelings because he chose us and not them. And they're just taking our sloppy seconds. Like I said, Shirky's a good player. Very talented player.
I won't put that on Shirky. I think he's that good. I won't put that sloppy seconds on Shirky.
No, yeah, for me, it's our sloppy seconds because we had a meeting with him, so we had plans to sign him, but Wirtz came into the equation. That's why I'm saying they took our sloppy seconds. Same as with Nori, very good going forward, but he's horrible defensively. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Malcolm said we should go big and go for Isak. If we got Isak, mate, honestly, I said I'd be standing up and applauding. And let Nunez leave and get another sharp striker. I think that's what we need. We just need a bagsman for me. If Elliott goes, I'm certain we get Wharton striker. I feel we could get prize away from Alvarez. I know it sounds mad, but I think Maka winning trophies and getting back at City will make it possible. City would love to have Wirtz, and they know it. They absolutely would. and they won't be talking about the price. But then again, I think it's just fans in general, right? Because I've seen Liverpool fans do this. Liverpool fans are just as bad. Some Liverpool fans are just as bad as rival fans. They will mock at people's prices, but you shouldn't look at the prices. I've said this. I don't look at the prices of players. I'm not paying it, so I don't need to look at the prices. If they perform on the pitch, that's all that matters. And again, with Caicedo, I've seen Liverpool fans laughing at Chelsea paying, oh, you paid that for Caicedo, and what's he done? He's been unbelievable since he's joined Chelsea. He's the best DM in the league. I'm not saying that because I don't think Gordon Birch is a proper DM, but what's a proper DM? Right now, obviously, Rodri's been out. Rodri's obviously the best before that, but Caicedo is unbelievable. And if we got Caicedo in our team, alongside Granberg, alongside McAllister, it'd be perfectly balanced. Yeah, definitely stop seconds there. Totally agree. Alex said there, but yeah, I don't. In terms of terms, stop seconds, I get it, but I think Shirky is a very, very good player, very talented player. He's not as good as Wirtz, but I think he's a very, very good player. They've got an absolute bargain for the price that they pay for him as well. So I certainly say that. There are rumours linking Liverpool with Horseman. Is this a deal possibility? With the wages that he's asking for, Tito, I can't see it being a possibility, if I'm honest. He's having problems with Al Hilal with the wage side of things. So I don't think we'll pay the wages that he's asking for. Not when we're just broken his wage structure, just for Salah and Van Dijk. How do you feel about FSG? I'm absolutely baffled with their recent moves. I'll always stay consistent on FSG, Lissandro. I think their recent past have deserved absolute criticism. All I've always ever wanted them to do is change what they do and give our manager enough to go again. And this is what they seem to be doing. I think they've realised how they can actually build here and build a good foundation and win again. And what I don't like, though, is I don't like these people that don't dare criticise FSG. What I'm seeing on Twitter now, oh, where's the apologies for FSG? Where's the apologies for FSG? Let me be clear about this. If you go to a restaurant, order a chicken burger. The first time you go, it's all right, not bad. Second time you go, bit better, beautiful. That's Liverpool getting Klopp in, winning the league. Then after that, you go for the next 3-4 times, and it's raw. Do you complain about it being raw? Is it good enough that it's raw at that time? However, you thought, oh, no, I'm going to give it one more chance. I'm going to give it one more chance. Go to that restaurant one more time. Get that chicken burger. It's spot on. It's beautiful. It's seasoned beautifully. It's come with some beautiful garnish on the side. The chips are crunchy, beautiful. But does that mean when it was raw, that was good enough? Do I have to apologise to the restaurant because it's perfect now? That's what I would describe FSG. They served us raw, and we have to apologise for that now. Thomas said his bite on his lip. Are you hungry now, Thomas? I do apologise for that. But yeah, they're now giving us a nice, juicy burger with chips on the side, Reese, this summer. And I'll clap the restaurant for that. But it doesn't mean they were good before when they were giving us raw. And I won't apologise for complaining about being raw. Is that a good analogy there?
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not really trying to think too much of the past. I'm more trying to think about the now. Obviously, I won't forget, but I'm trying to deliver.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going back to that restaurant again. I'm enjoying the restaurant right now. It's perfect burger.
I'm trying to see what the dessert's going to be. That's what I'm trying to see. What's next, you know?
There you go, then. Don't ruin it now. Do not ruin it. You've given me a perfect burger. Do not give me a burnt Jarrll Quansah. Do you remember how Man United used to act when they were dominant, where they went out and strengthened and bought the best? That's what you do as dominant club, and that's what we are starting to do. That's exactly what we've been asking for. And I've always said, look, we're not asking for 150 million pound players every year or something like that. Even though we've got one now, all we're asking is for the manager to be backed and to given us enough to go again. And Klopp didn't get that. When we were top, Klopp didn't get that, and that's. I'll cheers, Thomas. No, it's a terrible analogy. Thank you very much, Thomas. I appreciate that kindness. But yeah, what next for Liverpool? Wirtz looks like it's coming through the door this week, hopefully. Thursday, Friday could be a medical. It's just, it has, I hope it is worth it. It's going to be worth the wait. That's the thing with him. I think it's going to be worth the wait. And finally, we do see him come through the door. Kerkez, for me, is going to be the one that comes after. I expect that Kerkez deal, I'd say probably late next week is probably looking at, because the transfer window does reopen again in the 16th. But after that, it's sales. It's sales. Until we get sales gone, I can't see us looking at anywhere else until sales have happened. Nunez, Quansah potentially, Elliott, Martin, Tsimikas, players like that need to go first before I think we look anywhere else for me. Just going to get some more comments up. Second, if Firmino type, there was one player, I don't think he can say his name. It would be a lot of money, but it's a huge statement by FSG this summer. FSG finally realising they're the owners of a massive club and are acting like it. Exactly, that's exactly what we needed, really. What are the odds of Darwin staying? The striker search will only happen if he leaves. I can't see Slot being happy if Darwin stays. It's quite clearly he doesn't want him here. Malcolm also said Nunez is unfortunately leaving the Wolf as well live. So we've got a little question here from Badro Reese. Guys, who is your top 5 favourites players in the Liverpool Klopp era? I fucking love that question, Badro. Right. I love questions like this. Let's talk it.
You want to go first, Dame, or should I?
Let's pick one. Let's go between each other. So Salah's got to be up there clearly. Alisson, Becker, Van Dijk.
Wait. You're doing too many. One each.
All right, then. I'll put Salah up there first. Go
on. Mane, I'm putting up there.
Alisson Becker's got to be up there.
Obviously, Virgil.
And then for me, see if you're on the 5th one for me. So I agree with all the 4 so far.
The 5th one's a tricky one because I think there's 3 players that come into that category.
There is certainly a couple, yeah.
Someone's
already said it for me.
Oh, I still think for me. All right, then if you put Firmino, for me, you can't do 5. You've got to do a bigger window because there's other players that missed out that don't miss
out. 5. That's the question. 5 is the question. You've got to, if you want to kick someone out, you got to kick someone out.
Not for me. Like I said, you got to make it bigger. So I'm standing on that.
Who do you have in mind then? Who do you have in mind?
You can't not have Robinson in there. You can't not have Trent in there. And you can't not have Fabinho in there either.
Players, all right. Yeah, Fabinho, I think he was one of the most important ones as well.
Yeah, so.
But Bobby Firmino was the system. He was the Jurgen Klopp system. Without Firmino, we had no Jurgen Klopp system. Salah, record breaker every single year. Come in, hit the ground running, record breaking that same year. This year's gone to another level. Unbelievable signing. Alisson Becker, the best keeper in the world. Easy. Mane was Klopp's first signing and one of the most important signings. Again, in his day, probably one of the best players in the world. No ifs, buts, or maybes on that one. Van Dijk, obviously, game changer. Top four to a title challenger was Van Dijk. And I said that was going to happen when we did sign him. And Firmino, for me, yeah, and that I feel bad for leaving Fabinho out. If anyone, Robertson, yeah, best left back in the world at this time, but I can't compare to the others. Fabinho, I don't think we can play Klopp style without Fabinho either.
I don't think we could play Klopp style without the fullbacks either, because that's where our creativity came from. And Robinson for me goes down as top 3 left backs for all time in the Premier League. So that's why I said it has to be a wider range. It has to be bigger than 5. I know that's the question.
That's the question,
but I can expand it. I'm saying I want to expand it in it. So you can't put it into 5. That team can't be down to 5 players.
Badro, you asked the question, Badro. Can he expand it? I'll ask you that. I'll go to VAR. Can he expand the question? Can he have top 7? What's it like being a Liverpool fan over there in the UK? I'm in Texas and I've only met a handful. Depends when you ask me. When you ask me, Alessandro, right now it's been brilliant being a Liverpool fan in the UK. Back in the 90s and in the 2000s, when I grew up around Man United fans, awful. I'm telling you that now.
It depends how you look at it. It depends how you look at it. Maybe because the question I think he's asking you as in like, how is it for you being not necessarily how well we were doing, but what it feels, what does it feel to? Why does it feel so special to kind of support Liverpool as a football club? That's how I kind of took that question when he says, what's it feel like to be a Liverpool fan in the UK?
In the UK, because you're growing up around more football. There's only seen a handful of Liverpool fans. So.
Yeah, for me, it's special, isn't it? That's how I see it. I just think Liverpool's a different club to everyone else. I just think the connection, especially when you hear You Never Walk Alone and whatnot, and you look at some of the comebacks that we've had over the years, whether it's West Ham and FA Cup, the AC Milan, the Jarrll final, I call it, and whatnot. I just think it's very, very special to support Liverpool. It just feels different, even winning or losing. I don't ever feel like I want to give up supporting Liverpool, ever.
It's strange because growing up as a Liverpool fan, you will get I know lots of Liverpool fans. I've grown up with Liverpool fans. But it was mainly Man United fans I grew up with. My uncle's a big Man United fan. That's why my dad started hating Man United because of my uncle. But yeah, I've grown up around Man United fans. My cousin's a Chelsea fan. I've grown up with a few different fans. You can't tell by my accent, I'm not from Liverpool, but I'm from the north, so I'm not far from Liverpool. But yeah, it's been tough through the 90s, through the 2000s, going up around Man United fans as well. But I'll tell you one thing, the love for your club, it makes it more special. And to be loyal, and this is what I can't understand how people have they change clubs. I couldn't ever change a club. This is my club.
I just think
4 or 5 years old.
We live in society now where you've got social media where a lot of the younger generation flip-flop. Like you see a lot of young kids in that, like I said, they got PSG tops, they got Dortmund tops, they got Real Madrid, Barcelona. They're not out and out fans. I think they like football, but they kind of, with the narrative, what they kind of like, they kind of stick to who's winning or what's popular or what's the trend right now kind of thing, where I was a bit more
Sandra, I said here, I'm gonna be out there one day. I'd love to make that happen for you, Alessandro. I really would. I'd love to do something like that. So that's what I'm saying about if this challenge gets as big as we can, I'd love to do stuff like that for you, for people like that want to come out and visit Liverpool and come to Liverpool and chill out with other Liverpool fans. It's just beautiful. This is why I created this challenge, because I want to bring Liverpool fans together from across the world. This is what it's about. This is all it's about. Rafa bringing and did he change the game for Milan? He absolutely did. Absolutely did. It's a bit like the Wijnaldum one against Barcelona. How many players of this generation will get an all-time best 11, guys? Quite a few, Reece. Do you think that?
Yeah, I can't really answer that question right now, though. For me, I would rather do a separate stream on.
We will do a stream on that. Yeah, we will do a stream on that, Kev. Liverpool to pay 21.3 million back for Firmino backing Klopp here. That is a bargain, absolute bargain. Firmino, I mean, he bought him as an attacking midfielder, wasn't he? He turned him into a false 9. Could we see the same with Florian Wirtz? I don't think so. I think we still want a proper striker. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Hope you have all had a brilliant night watching the stream. Again, we are back in the morning, hopefully for Morning Reds. Make sure you join into that. Andreas will be back on tomorrow. So give your support to Andreas as well in the morning. Also, as you can see at the bottom, 750 subs is our race to 750 subs. We're now on 687. Also, our TikTok and our X/Twitter handles are in the description at the below as well. So our TikTok's it's made I run the TikTok account, so it's a bit more of a fun and quite engaging TikTok. I like to make it fun for everyone. But thank you for watching tonight, guys. Make sure you do, like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new to get all your latest updates on Liverpool, and get your notification bells on as well, because we've got some big plans coming up. I said Lewis Steele is coming. He messaged me earlier. He can't get on now till maybe next week or Friday, but we'll let you know on that. Lewis Steele is coming on the show, so don't you worry about that. We will get some exclusive from Lewis Steele. He's coming on. So thank you for watching. Have a great night, guys. I'll speak to you all later.